Talking with Words.
Welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob.
Cameron.
Alan.
James.
And Ryan.
And Alan's going to have to lean into that mic a little bit.
Alan.
There you go.
Hold on. Is it like this? Like,
Oh, hey, did you have that pearl necklace before?
We don't have as many complaints about Alan's audio as Taylor and being able to hear him, but it's close. Get in there.
You got to get cheek to cheek, guys.
You can also switch hit.
And you
come to
can
this
get
one,
your
too.
faces to touch as well.
Up in there.
You can get a little bit over here and a little bit over here, too.
From Tugger. Anybody seen Cats? Okay, we watched 28 Days Later from 2002. If you're not familiar with this film, the third installment comes out Friday,
Perhaps.
depends on when you're watching this episode and when it actually airs. It comes out in the near time. If somehow you're not familiar with this, it's described as 4 weeks after a mysterious incurable virus spreads throughout the United Kingdom. Let's try that again. Cut that, Rob. 4 weeks after a mysterious incurable virus, god damn it, spreads throughout the United Kingdom, a handful of survivors try to find sanctuary. This was the movie that put Danny Boyle on the map as writer-director, and Cillian Murphy. Is it Cillian or
Killian?
Cillian Murphy, yeah.
Really?
Naomi Harris, who was Moneypenny in the Daniel Craig.
Yes.
Correct.
It was Spectre, and
Bond.
she had another name in Skyfall. Eve.
I forgot how much I
Yeah.
loved her in this. Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who, you might recognize. Was there anybody else in this that we were? Noah Huntley,
Brian
we've
Gleason?
seen. Do what?
Gleason.
Oh yeah, he's
Brian
not even
Gleason?
on the main page of people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Gleason. Which I remember when he walked on screen when I saw his theaters, I was like, okay, there's the main character. Who's this little skinny guy?
Yeah.
And that didn't work out.
Because that was his first big film, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gillian was. He did
Yeah.
TV
Right.
in Channel 4, I think, or something over there, over the pond.
When was Batman Begins?
That would have been
Oh, Batman Begins was like 2000.
5.
Was it that early?
It was pretty
Five-
early.
5 or 6.
So that's probably after. Like,
Well, he
next to
got
him,
that
actually.
because of this.
Right.
100%.
But grew up quickly in those years.
He delivered.
Yeah.
And then he got Peaky Blinders. He's been busy. He's been a busy boy. He also did Inception, which I keep forgetting that he was in that.
Yes.
I haven't seen. I think I've only seen that once since it's been out of theaters.
I watched it in the hotel the other day.
We're not doing a pot on that because I'm not staying until 2:00 in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing
We'll start
it
at 2.
immediately after this. You
Take
don't
your
have
phone
anywhere
cams.
to be tomorrow?
You got the parents guide for this thing?
I do. Rated R for strong violence and gore, language, and nudity. Sex and nudity, moderate. Violence and gore, severe. Profanity, severe. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, moderate. Frightening and intense scenes, 7.
Silver?
Yeah. There was plenty of nudity. Just not the kind we all want.
Not a lot of movies start with a uncut boy in a hospital bed.
Groundbreaking.
Depends on what kind of movies you're watching, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, who had not seen this before?
I have not seen it before.
Everybody but me and you.
I guess I had
Correct.
just seen pieces of it. I'd never seen the whole story.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew the premise, and Cillian Murphy was in it. That's really about it.
Yeah.
I knew it was different from. It wasn't the movie I thought it was when they got. What are they infected with? Rage.
Just rage. Little Clockwork Orange there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? So first time this has been out for 23 years.
They should have
And-
waited to release the next one at 28 years.
You can't. Time doesn't matter here. We've been
No
through
reason.
COVID. After COVID. Oh, no reason. Exactly. What'd you guys think? First viewing. It feels older
It
the way they shot it.
feels old as shit.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
talked about that a lot.
That was tough for
like,
me.
I like the overall storytelling that was going on. It wasn't the usual zombie story. and I always appreciate that. Um, yeah, just from the very beginning with the whole PETA setup or
Yeah.
whatever they were,
Mhm.
it's like it's so likely. They definitely took us from like a very believable world into an increasingly unbelievable and dystopian version of it.
Yeah.
They sort of weaned us off of it from a lab incident to waking up in a hospital to an empty city, uh, yeah, to a family situation and then an army situation, a road
Yeah.
trip. Don't forget the road
We
trip.
did have a road trip.
Yeah, there was a journey going on.
They had to return the ring.
Jeez. Alan, what'd you think?
Should
Well,
call the Eagles.
no, I mean, as far as the movie when it first came out, it's not something I think I would have watched, obviously, because I didn't. But actually, after watching it, it was actually good. I enjoyed it.
It was good.
It was better than Ghost of Mars.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I mean, it is,
Strong setup.
I mean,
Them's fighting words, sir.
but also a movie like 28 Days Later that broke a lot of tropes at the time for this version of horror. And I mean, some of the shots they did, this has a following as one of those top zombie movies. When I saw it, this was what, a year and a half, 2 years before the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
I thought this was like the best zombie movie ever made when I saw it because fast zombies, but they weren't really zombies, which it took me like 3 times to watch this, and I said this while we were watching. My friend Kevin Vasquez, I'm going to call him out. Happy Father's Day. We watched it multiple times and we'd be like, okay, so in the beginning they say it's in New York, and then later they're like, no, that was just panic, and it hasn't gotten off the island because it's England and they've been quarantined.
It's
And then
England
you
and the virus doesn't swim.
right, and then you see planes, and then obviously the ending. If I'm spoiling this for you, that's your fucking fault. It's been 23 years.
that would have been me.
Had
listening
plenty time
this.
to watch it.
Yeah, I gave you guys 2 hours to not spoil it. I didn't even point out any scenes on purpose.
It's kind of nice watching it that way, like just not knowing what's about.
You guys
to
couldn't
come
tell,
on
but he was crying the whole time, like, gotta say something.
I love the shot. I only said it like twice at the end.
No, you did good. I'm proud of you.
Hey,
Something
I'm proud of you for
working
not
on.
ruining this movie too. Well done.
Hey.
Good job.
Yeah.
The thing that set this apart for me in the beginning was the Mark and Selena.
Selena. Yeah.
Selena.
Selena. Keep wanting to say Selena. When they save Jim, because he's out wandering the streets, doesn't know what the hell's going on. You get the infected priest, which fucking amazing shot. Love that shot of him coming out and
That was
just
fun.
and it's a world where you don't know what zombies are, which we talked about that. Some movies you know what they are.
Yeah. Some movies call it out. Others,
What the hell's happening?
yeah.
They don't exist in their world. They're not in the supernatural fiction realm. This was one of the ones that they don't know what they are. They don't exist. But they aren't technically zombies anyway. I'm just rolling around my points here. Selena and Mark save Jim, go to Jim's parents' house. I guess he lived there. Was that his house as well? He looked like he was sitting in his room.
Yeah.
I think so.
He still had a room there.
He looked like he could have been anywhere between 20 and 42.
Maybe as early
Maybe
as
not.
young as 17.
It's different over there.
That
Yeah.
beard said mid-20s.
That beard said, I haven't shaved for 30 days.
What'd the bush say?
That was a 45-day bush.
Oh, yeah.
That Bush said it's 1990s.
Damn close. But you don't really know how vicious the infection and the zombies are. We have Resident Evil zombies. We have Dawn of the Dead zombies. There's a bunch of different versions. And when you do have the one bust through the wall or the door, whatever that was, the big mirror or the big window, and Mark's cut, Selena, 2 seconds, turns around, chops him to fucking pieces.
Yeah.
And I was like, in the theaters, I was like, holy shit. Okay, this is different.
I thought that one of those three. I thought those 3 characters might go a little further than Act 2.
Yeah. Not even past the beginning of Act 1. Yeah. That Like once that happened, I sat up in the theater like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
what is this?
That's the difference in this one and a lot of other zombie movies. Like this one, if it gets in like eyes, mouth, ears, cuts in it, like any sort of mucous membrane contact, you're done.
That
And
glorp on
yeah.
the eyeball was the worst one, if you ask me.
Mhm.
And it hurt the most.
And it was a stupid accident.
It was,
He
which
has
makes it
never
that
put
much more
himself to
painful.
blame.
And that's one of those other things. It's like, okay, we just had a great little happy moment, all this. When's the shoe drop? And I remember seeing that in first time I see any movie where it's a horror and something's happy, I'll be like, okay, so God damn it. Of course it's Sally. Let's let her know that she's interrupting the podcast. Hey, you're on the podcast.
Oh, hi. I'll call you later.
What's going on?
I was just calling to tell you they didn't win anything again.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we're
Yeah.
paying for this.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know. Somehow she ended up with a top 10, but they never called their name, so I don't really have a clue.
I love this.
Sally's at a dance competition with Charlie right now in Branson.
Hey, but I did score a free Lulu outfit from my mom, so
Oh, hot damn.
I know. Pretty good. So anyway, all right. Have fun. Talk to you later.
Okay, thanks for checking in, talking with words. Sally's hydration station.
All right, bye.
Bye.
She's like, "Are you done?" Or
Yeah, she says that all the time. Get off of me.
oh,
Sorry, Debbie.
It's okay. Neither of them listen to this.
Has nothing to do with sex. She just falls asleep on me on the couch and
Wakes up
I-
in a
Why
Why
rage.
the wet spots on your shoulder?
yeah, nothing fun. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna be able to leave in, but
Was that Sally or was that?
You're not going to take any of that
that
out.
was a wrong number.
I'm talking about the wet spot on the shirt. Was that?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Bowie?
Oh
Or
yeah, Bowie.
It's usually
Bowie.
James, but
Yeah, you wore his ass out.
Well, I have skills.
His hands. Where does he get those wonderful hands?
They're so
Uh,
soft.
God. What? Okay, hold on a second. Let me figure out what the fuck's going on again. Taylor, that's a good shot.
he just has no pants.
Welcome
on.
back.
And we're back.
Never mind that.
That would have been fun.
Okay, what were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh,
See,
oh,
why'd you get us off track, Cameron?
I love how our boy Jim
Also, I love his name's Jim.
is just yelling hello at the top of his lungs.
Good call.
he has zero survival instinct.
Zero, but
I'm going to give him a pass.
but it doesn't stop even after he sees the priest at the church. Like he's still yelling.
Hey, zombie.
None of them learn about noise
What are we doing?
until all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's use the noise.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to do all these other times. We'll do it one time as if we meant it and realize we didn't know it the whole time.
And then he lights
What's-
the candle.
What indeed?
Well, they keep screaming like Cameron's saying. It's
Yeah.
like everywhere they go, noise will attract them. They knew it from the minute at the church.
Right.
Hello, and
Well, then you have those. That scene still bugs me.
the church.
Where he walks in and it's all the bodies.
Yeah.
And either they've been shot, they killed themselves, whatever happened in that church. But he goes hello, and then two just pop up and go,
Yeah, and they
and they
stay there.
freeze. And that's always bugged me that they didn't rush him, or were they not
So
sick?
they ultimately did
after he
when
was
he
leaving.
was after he
Priest got first
wrestled
dibs.
with
That's
the
just
priest.
The
polite.
priest was already up there.
That's 2 minutes later.
Yeah, it
because
felt like
he's-
it was shot out of sequence or something.
as soon as he said hello, he stopped talking and didn't say anything until he went out to like the back of the rectory or whatever, and that's
Yeah.
when the priest came out the door. So he's in another room, so they're hearing a
That-
little bit.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
just
not the
feels
same.
funky.
It
You know what I mean?
I feel
It
like
was
they're on a
much more
balcony.
delayed than
Yeah.
other times.
But they did make a point of like World War Z, if you've seen that, obviously built some of its lore off of this, which World War Z is based off a book by Max Brooks, who wrote it as what happens when the zombie apocalypse goes on, and it did not have fast moving zombies. The book's very different, but it was based off movies like this, and here are the different examples of what would happen. The sound thing they did pretty well in this. I liked with did they name the black slave zombie that they had in the,
That's not
Yeah,
racist at
Maeve.
all.
that was the one.
I think he
There were
did
two, I
name
guess,
him.
but one of the black army guys was chained up in the hall. Yeah, wonder what they were trying to say with that. But him, when they closed the door, he would just kind of and like go quiet, like, okay, good. You don't have the input.
Once they lose the stimuli, they go dormant.
Predator conserves energy.
Yeah, that's the same way in the beginning of the movie with the chimpanzees. Until they saw people, they were calm in their cages.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, he said they had. What was the word he used? I don't know.
You
Did it
got
rhyme with dead air?
Yes. I just don't want you to be bored editing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all that.
It like chemically restrained him or whatever. He's like, oh, they're being restrained right now.
Yeah, and they were like sedated.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Taking a ride on the van.
So how does it work with the light? Because he lit the candle that apparently
They need
attracted them.
some sort of stimulus.
But what about the
So-
flashing Christmas lights on the
Yeah, how
balcony
did-
of the apartment?
So we were talking about that. If you're at that street level, you're not,
If you're close to the building, you're not going to notice.
you don't see it.
There's
It's made for people coming from a distance.
Yeah, the
Isn't
people
that
that
the same with a candle?
Not if it's at
not if
ground
they're
level
standing
next to
outside
a
the
window,
window,
and they're
Yeah.
walking
yeah.
by
First
on the
floor
street.
window.
Yeah, they just lived 4 houses down.
Suppose. I mean,
Yeah, it was the neighbor that.
I guess they came through the second story window or whatever.
No, he was on the first floor.
Yeah, he was in the kitchen or like dining area. Remember, he was having his like hallucination
and
flashback.
Remember,
Oh.
the building set up. They had gates that they could lock. I think
At the apartment complex?
at different places in the apartment complex.
There were two different checks, and then you had the alert system, which was the shopping carts, and then they had, which I liked, the huge chain, like the emergency escape, like last ditch effort.
Mhm.
That was set up pretty good. I liked how they did that.
Dad did that.
Yeah, he was crafty.
Yeah, and and you called it, Ryan. He did the double tap on the way up. He had
Yeah.
he had the riot
That's
shields.
awesome.
He had the protective gear. Kept all the fluids off of him. He had it all down.
But then left all that behind,
So
moving away.
With
all
you
of
know,
that training just
all
goes
you
up.
need is one spark of hope to make some really dumb decisions.
yeah, he heard the radio broadcast, and that was that.
Ugh.
And that was
Of
a
course.
trap.
The thing that's kind of different in this one than a lot of other zombie films, or I guess there's a little bit of it to maintain the humanity, but there were more people helping other people.
That's true.
Like usually you've got one or two people willing to help, but even the bulk of the group, take Walking Dead or
Right.
even the mall scene in Dawn of the Dead. They get in there, there's a small group working together. They're like, nope, this is our spot. Get out.
And I think this was probably around when Kirkman started writing Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It would have been early 2000s, I think.
They definitely took some things from.
Well, and his zombies were based on 100% Night of the Living Dead. It was a George Romero zombie. They are dead, slow moving, and that's your base, and then just go from there. And that's how he built his world.
Walking Dead didn't start till 2010.
Was it that late? Damn, he was busy.
The chained up zombie reminded me of
then again,
Walking Dead too.
Like the governor and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That's when the show started. When
Oh,
the
no, I'm talking about the
comics-
comic book.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
No, the show was late.
yeah.
I
Well,
didn't.
yeah, I was thinking. I mean,
I guess it is
with-
25.
With this movie, around the time of this movie, I don't remember if this was one of the ones that kicked it off, but there was just a rush of zombie movies of all kinds, and I got so burnt out on the whole concept. That's one of the reasons I never watched this.
Everybody did. I mean,
I never even watched Walking Dead because of that.
look, video games were zombies everywhere, and now they're skewing away from it. And give it another 5 years, it'll flip flop back. But this, and then you had the Dusk Till Dawn remake, like blew up zombie movies again. Like they came back because they weren't really that big, other than like Resident Evil and stuff like that. Your niche, but Dusk Till Dawn exploded the whole zombie franchise again. What was that?
Yes.
2003? Is that when that came
Was
out?
Dust Till Dawn that late?
Or not Dust Till Dawn? Sorry, Dawn of the Dead. The
2004.
Snyder remake.
End
4.
of 03, beginning of 04.
So that was probably being filmed when this came out. And it's James Gunn, who likes zombies anyway.
Walking Dead comic 03.
So yeah, right.
Issue 1 was 03.
Yeah, right here. And that ran.
Final issue was in July of 19.
Yeah.
That ran too long.
Not in the comics.
No, that's the comics.
Okay.
Comics. Yeah. If you didn't finish the series like me, read the comics. Finish the comics.
You're talking to a no comic guy, so that's not happening either.
Have you ever been Clockwork Orange before? He doesn't even know what that is.
Exactly.
You're gonna love
Stick
it.
around afterwards.
So
You remember that monkey in the beginning of this?
Yeah.
Watching the news footage?
that was me.
Yeah, we're just gonna put all the comic strips.
Yeah.
Keep your
Except
eyes open.
He was lucky. He didn't have the eye spreaders,
Yeah.
the eyelid spreaders.
With the creepy guy putting the drops in.
Yeah.
But 28 days later, where we at? Gleason talking about his badass bunker, leaving. Another scene that bugs me, and these are the only two scenes that really bother me in this. Why would you drive over the cars in the tunnel if this is the only vehicle you have?
He's
And you're
taxi
trying to get
driver.
out of
He knows
town.
his car.
It was reckless.
It was one of those
Oh,
scenes
yeah,
that they
it's-
put in for the woo, we're gonna do it, and then the suspense thing after, because that built up well. It felt you see him that another one of those shots, them coming in the tunnel with the shadows.
It's really close to that scene that's in so many movies where they get to the car and it won't start.
Yeah,
This was, car failure equals drama.
this was their answer to that.
It felt a little cheesy.
Is this Hell House
Like
Origins?
just super cheesy.
But did it not get your adrenaline running when they
No,
started coming out the dark?
I liked that part of it, but you didn't need the car ramp.
Yeah.
Like that.
What about the ramp?
the ramp?
Ramp. Pushy.
I thought the rats were a good touch there
I did like the rats.
because everybody panicked. They're like, "No, they're infected. They're infected."
Well,
And
that's
that
what
was-
I
and Selena
thinking.
said, "No, they're running from the infected."
Yeah, I said that out loud, forgetting that was the line. I was like, oh yeah, they're running from the infected. They're running from. I was like, oh yeah, this has been done a lot in the last 20 years. We've done this a few times now.
Yeah.
See more in vampire movies, I think.
I wonder if it's the same people that did Nosferatu's rats.
Not enough dong.
Enough rat
Not in that scene, at least.
rat experts.
About same amount of bush in this Nosferatu, or pretty close anyway. You're gonna love Nosferatu.
No.
It is good.
It was great. What was that? A Robert Eggers?
Yeah.
It's one who did that.
Didn't you guys already do that pod?
No, we just
No.
went and saw it in theaters.
We went to the theaters.
Dang it.
We wanted to save
I
the
saw it
pod for you,
twice.
Cameron.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little dark, but it was good. I felt cold. We're jumping
Then-
and everything, but it was just. a
Then they
dark
did what they
time.
needed to
Cold.
do.
It's like-
If
Said
you felt cold.
I felt cold.
Didn't have to do with
Savini fingers.
yeah. Didn't have anything to do with the fact that it was 9 degrees outside the day we went to go watch that movie either.
That might have had something to do with it.
Well, could have.
Pretty sure it was snowing when we got out of the theater.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
it's Arkansas. It
around
snowed
Christmas
last week.
time. Feel like I'm yelling. Well, I am to get.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, get your mouth up there.
Tell them. So, Act 1 is the reveal of everything, and then meeting Frank and Hannah. Hannah's
Frank's daughter.
the best actor in the movie.
Let's call it hello. Let's call it that.
Hello, hello. James is going to do it, so I beat him to it.
Yeah.
Second act is them leaving and trying to get to the base, and Frank's
It's in Manchester.
27
So
miles?
211 miles from London to
From London.
Manchester's 211 miles.
27 miles northeast of Manchester, but they started in London.
Yeah, that's right. So it would have been 200. And they talked about it. They're like, well, normally it's a 4-hour drive. Now it's a 2-day
It's
trip.
going to take us about 2 days.
Yeah.
Which I didn't see that. There was no traffic and abandoned
worry about
cars they needed to
sneaking
go
around.
around.
They had to
Inside
stop.
the tunnel ramp.
They rarely
Just have
had
to go
to. They
straight.
never had to stop They never had to stop and backtrack and find another way. That was very
Nope.
unrealistic.
Yeah.
They had to see the sights though.
Well, that's because Negan wasn't there to block them.
It's true.
Yeah,
Well, now
they could have done with a good Negan.
when they stopped for gas, we were expecting something's going to happen.
I believe it's petrol, James,
Petrol.
Yeah, we had to get our boy
and
his
cheeseburgers.
first kill.
And
Yeah,
she-
but and that's the part I was getting to is like he walks in there and he just I don't know, like he was looking for a zombie to kill almost, because why would he go in there? He saw the bodies. He knew he wasn't looking for a damn cheeseburger after he's like covering his mouth with the cloth and all that. But as he's getting ready to walk out, he's like, "Hello." He
Yep.
says it again and gets the immediate reaction, and this time it's a little boy zombie. And
Did anyone hear the boy zombie speak?
I thought I heard him say something, but it wasn't words.
He said, "I hate you."
Oh, that makes sense.
Really?
Rage virus.
It's the
Well,
ol-
that's the
it's
only one we heard speak.
Correct.
Was that in the trivia?
Of course it was.
James, I pay really good attention to these movies and know things.
He meant he's
Okay.
paid really good to look at the trivia. Free alcohol.
I hate you. It's the boy, not me. I didn't say that.
But you know,
They were infected with rage.
he also had been hanging out with Selena, looking fine in that punk rock haircut for days. He had to beat something. He had to go look for something to beat.
She was a good British boy's dream.
She's a good American boy's dream. I'm not one of those. God damn it.
Yeah.
Act 3.
Do you think she could have been
And
cast,
scene.
or do you think Zoe Beats could have been cast for her role? instead?
Well, Zoe Beats would have been about 9.
I'm saying like if they're like again, this movie needs to be redone now.
Well, they're doing a third one.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy with the shitty style of shooting?
Well, he's probably adapted a little bit since then. Did we watch
Can't do the same thing every time.
were there the Boyle movies we were talking about? Danny Boyle, writer director of
I
this.
forgot now.
I'm
I did too.
sure it looked great in 02.
That was the point. It wasn't supposed to look great.
Sheesh.
It was overexposed. It was shot like that guerrilla kind of cinematography where it wasn't on, or it wasn't supposed to look like it was on dollies and everything like that. There were definitely setups. Like when they're shooting at that apartment patio scene, that's a full rig out on the balcony next to him shooting in.
Right.
But then you also have it cut to where he's like winding the camera and it's just really close and overexposed to get that, like, yeah, everything's going to shit. I think that was the vibe. Or he just didn't have any money. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much into it. I'm an optimist.
So he didn't do 28 weeks later.
No. He was supposed to write 28 days, weeks, and months. And I think he was going to direct the first and last one. And then something happened and someone else took over the second one. It flopped. It went into the whole series went into remission.
Yeah, I didn't.
Is that kosher?
Revision?
Yeah.
Rewrite?
It went away.
Is there cancer here?
It's in timeout.
Yeah. It's rage virus. I felt
It
it
wasn't-
felt right in my head.
The
And
second
then
one wasn't nearly as good as this one.
I don't remember it being as good, but it was also Robert Carlyle and Jeremy Renner were like the two big names in it. So I need
That's
to watch
right.
it again. It's been a long time.
Well, that would have been one of Jeremy Renner's like early.
It was early.
Yeah. Because I had it on in the background. I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago.
That sounds like something you do.
Yep.
28 days ago.
20. Yeah, roughly 28 days ago. I don't know. It might have been 28 weeks ago.
God.
But yeah, like it was okay, but it wasn't enough for me to like stop what I was doing and sit down and watch.
I remember pieces of it, but I don't remember it having the effect that this had.
No.
But again, you saw this in theater
I saw that in theater.
when you were.
I would have been in my 40s.
15, 16.
When was this? 2002?
Too.
So depending on
I'd have
when
been
in 02,
17.
Yeah. 16 or
It
17.
lands a little bit different when you're 17 in a movie theater
Yeah, I was probably wearing Jinkos.
with a rage.
That's how you
for
smuggled
zombies
your
and other
large
weird shit.
popcorn in.
Yeah.
So
I had
Danny,
some stuff going on.
yeah, Danny Boyle did The Beach, Slumdog Millionaire, 127 Hours,
That's a solid film.
Steve Jobs.
The train engineer Steve Jobs. Don't know if that's gonna pick up or not. She knows we're doing a podcast and she's still texting me shit.
You know, there's a silent button on
That-
that phone.
I can't do that.
That's what I don't understand.
Can't do it.
So you know that we're
Just-
doing a podcast, right?
You should, like 45 minutes.
I
You do it during interviews.
do, but I can pause this and
Okay.
delete shit out of it.
Okay, if you're ever
Prove
in
it.
a tense scene
But
where
you
zombies
don't.
are outside the door and you're trying to hide from them, there needs to be a text message coming.
That's not a casual podcast, but yes, I will do that for sure. We're just buzzes. What the fuck, man? It's important.
Damn it, Sally.
That's Nick Frost and Shaun of the Dead. It beeps. He's like, hold on just a minute. It's like, what the fuck? You have that moment. That exists. Just a total parody of Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead. A lot of the stuff that came from this. They even mention in the end of Shaun of the Dead, there's a TV clip where it's like, oh, the reports of the rage virus are totally shit, and it like cuts from right there. Or like infected rats or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, vaguely.
They just poke a jab at this movie because it was only 3 or 4 years after this too. It was in the middle.
It was like 04, 05
Yeah.
time frame.
Shaun of the Dead was the only zombie movie I did watch.
That
That checks out.
was kind of peak zombie
More than one.
rage.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like because now we can start poking fun at it.
We're gonna have a British comedy for a zombie movie. Fucking On in the Apocalypse. Let's go.
Heyo.
God,
Cameron's favorite film.
did we do a pod on that?
No, we're gonna schedule it for you.
Yeah, we
Cameron.
need to do a pod on that one.
I watched the movie.
I thought we watched
We
it.
probably
I
did a
watched the
pod. It
movie.
was just too shitty.
I think you're imagining that, Alan.
We have not done a pod on that one.
I remember shitting on that movie the whole time.
I don't remember.
I don't know why.
You came in hot.
Yeah,
That movie sucks.
You had been drinking for like 3 hours that day,
Oh, that movie sucks.
Yeah, I kind of watching the movie
and you were talking to a small dog on the screen.
yeah.
on Apocalypse.
On it,
That was the musical, wasn't it?
Yes, I watched. Yes, I watched that movie. Ugh. And we did a pod on it.
so bad.
Gaslighting motherfuckers.
Yes. I thought we'd watch it.
I done thought we done seen nothing. Oh, Anna. She got up to no good.
It wasn't as bad as everyone said it was.
I still kind of liked it. And Cameron, if you hadn't drinking a whole bottle of fucking
No.
bourbon, you might have liked it a little bit better.
No,
You had Rob rage going on there.
it's so bad.
So the third act of 28 Days Later is when they encounter the military group that is set up in a mansion.
They go north of Manchester.
And
They're looking around, and this is when Frank
Yes.
gets frustrated at a crow and dead body.
Yeah.
damn your eyes.
Out of
There-
him.
Granted, his frustration starts. They're searching around. He had all the hope from that radio broadcast of, we're gonna find people, we're gonna do. And
It's justified to a degree.
I get it, but he's running around and just like they don't find anything, getting frustrated, start screaming at a crow, and that's when he gets a little dribble of something in there.
Little-
Yeah, now, when
and-
they showed up and they were not there, and when it finally actually happened, you know, because they shoot him because he got infected. Later in the scene, when they found out what they really wanted, they wanted women. So that pile of bodies that they took him to, was that just everybody that showed up that weren't women? They just came in and they just.
Very possible.
I don't think so because
We saw some titties.
I think some of them were infected.
Didn't we
Yeah.
see some
Yeah.
titties?
some of
Yeah,
those,
but that was after. That was
old man pancakes.
outside the wall, not
Yeah.
inside. So
Uh,
all that pile of dead bodies was inside the wall.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
The
but
dead
when they
naked
had
people
the-
from the gangbang were outside the
oh,
wall.
Yeah, but when they had the
Just imagining that's
The
where they
radio.
were from.
broadcast.
When they
I
took
mean,
him to
weren't the first
execute,
people to show up. Obviously, I mean, some other people had to have shown up. That's why they
Right.
were ambushing just in
I
case.
think that's a good point.
so I was talking about that while we were watching it because I forgot chunks of this. When he got infected, you had Jim go over to end him, and they pop out and just shoot him, and you're like, where the fuck have these guys been?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't come out because there were two guys and two girls, so they were still kind of okay. Well, how do we want to do this? We can't go out and just kill the two dudes because the girls won't bang us. They're going to have a little bit of animosity. So once he got infected, they revealed themselves because they didn't want the two girls to get infected.
Mhm.
And then they're like, we can deal with. I mean, look at him, fucking little tiny scrawny Jim. We'll take him
They got
out.
rid of the big guy.
And that's what I was thinking. I mean, if it was just guys that showed up,
Yeah.
they would just shoot him and haul him to the
I think they just let him
fire.
go. I mean,
Well, they would probably keep going though. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to turn back.
So
They would
I-
keep going and maybe find the mansion.
I'm gonna assume it's a mix of stuff. Like if they start having issues with somebody at the mansion, they're gonna take them out there and kill them. If they've got somebody that's infected, they're gonna kill them and drag the body out there. And then part of it would be, yeah, they're guys. If they don't, like, if they make their way there after they don't, oh, no girls in the group, not gonna
Because
help
there
them.
was
We're just
nobody
gonna let them
there.
wander around.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was nobody there but the military guys. There were no other.
right.
And
Right.
Well, I just want to point out that one scene where after he gets infected through his eyeball, and he obviously knows immediately
That's
what's just happened,
Mhm.
and he knows that it's like 30 seconds, and immediately starts screaming for his daughter to get away from him. And what does she do? Come right forward, and he has to like throw her away
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
away, get away, get away.
the thing you would do if your parent was in turmoil. You'd be like, what?
Yeah,
Because she didn't see it. It wasn't like he just got bit. It was so out of the blue.
that scene was just perfectly acted.
Oh, it was great. It still hurts. Like watching it this time, I was like, ugh, yeah. Don't love watching that.
Tell-
You shut your mouth.
Except when he got
Tells
shot
her he
like,
loves her.
Oh, he
and
agrees.
5 times. She goes,
screams at her to get away.
"Daddy."
Yeah.
At the end, that was kind of odd.
It's like the very end of Army of the Dead,
Oh yeah.
where he just has that 1 minute where he's like, "I love you. I know it's happening." It's like, it hurts a little bit as a parent.
Stings.
Yeah. Hey, Bowie, chill your shit. Also, don't lick any of the blood.
Alan, take care of your dog.
At least he
Went out.
can't bust through the door
Not this one. Not yet.
yet.
It's been taking ketamine and creatine.
Those
But they
counteract each
do
other.
they do a good job of that something's off with the army people as soon as you're in, but it's not completely aware. You're not completely aware of what it is until you have that moment where they have the attack and the guy comes in and he's being overly aggressive with Selena, and was it the captain
Yeah.
comes up and he's like, slow down. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I felt it going wrong the minute the facade dropped around the eggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought something was wrong when they all showed up to dinner, and he showed up dressed up,
Yeah.
and
Full-
all the other. It's like, yeah, they're
Full
Full
governor.
parade dress.
Yeah,
He's not an American president.
Yeah. It was. It felt off, but you couldn't quite place your finger on
Yeah,
it.
you didn't know what it was yet until hey, no, we're definitely going to rape these girls, but shh.
If they something's off when they've got that broadcast going for however long, because I mean, how long did Frank say he had been hearing it? A week, 2 weeks, a month?
I think he said like
Yeah.
a week.
A
Well,
week?
I mean, again, it's only been 28 days,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
It's at this point we're right at a month. So
And they
Yeah, a
fell
couple
back from the
weeks, but-
barricade to take the mansion,
yeah,
and which they did fortify the hell out of it. Like that was a great setup to survive what they were against, and their response time was awesome.
but it's if that message has been out there a week and a half, and as we said, UK's not that big.
Yeah.
It's off that all that's there is like 9 military dudes
well, and it's also
and a slave.
if you're in a situation like that, you would not put a radio message out like that. Hey, come here, we're right here. Come on over. We've got plenty to share. No, they don't.
The assumption is that's a big compound, and this is
But it's
Yeah,
being
it's like a mini
broadcast
city,
to
yeah.
everyone in the left in the country. That they don't even know how many people that is.
How many movies have you seen where it's like, come here, everything's safe, and then you go there and it's not so safe? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty classic. But this one was safe until they fucked with the wrong gym.
He did.
That was really, they underestimated their bike courier.
Yeah, they thought so much about what he couldn't do. They never thought about what he could.
Damn.
Yeah.
That should be the tagline of the whole movie. Don't even mention the zombies.
They should use that in another movie.
And then
They
our
did.
skinny boy Jim turns into Rambo.
Rambo. Yeah. Which,
He's only killed one boy at this point.
yeah, but that was out of necessity.
He's
Yeah.
got all these tactical skills,
Well,
running around
you
all
didn't know-
wimbly from window to window.
Nibbly bibbly from tree to tree.
What you didn't know, he was a courier for the mob. The mob was the answer.
Yeah,
skinny and aerodynamic. He moves quickly.
He can dive.
it's just piss and rain, and he's just going window to window. God.
And the little shots of him like scurrying like Batman. Yeah, I forgot about all those. Those were great. And James said it perfectly. It's like that's what we think we would do in that situation. It's 100%. I'd be up there
We
like,
all
I'm
think
gonna
about
get
it.
behind him, and he's just like, oh, there he is. Bam.
Well, I know I would have been caught the minute he was at the front of the truck and the guy was at the back of the truck, and then he sneaks around the front. He's not there. Okay, I would have been caught right there.
But it's not like he's
How
under
would
the
I-
truck. He's up there running.
How did he get away? How did he do that?
He's wily.
Parkour.
Scripting, editing, and shots.
He's into the punk
That's
scene.
how you do that.
Well, he just hid behind the bush.
Well, that's it. He just
There it
retracted
is.
himself like a
There it
little
is.
roly poly.
It is the UK. It's cold.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I was in the pool.
But like a lot of those shots at the end, where he's doing the siren, the shot of him in the truck, the one where he's running in the scrubs from the fire zombies, a lot of that is iconic now. You see it in where they're doing like runs of clips of horror movies and stuff. They did a lot right with this. I love the shot in the mansion after he's come back and released everything, and he goes through the secret door that he did. They go through that a minute ago when the guy showed him his office when he took him back
I
there.
think so. Yeah.
I was trying to remember, but he runs in and goes through the door that looks like the wall. It's one of those panel doors. And then you have the lights flashing on and off. And when they come back up, it's the two
Yeah.
affected guys, and they're just, but it keeps going light and dark and light and dark. And it's just those two figures. And then they run away. I'm like, yeah, that was fun. It worked really, really well.
Yeah.
It hit me in the
hiding-
right spots.
Hannah hiding behind the mirror when they go into one of the rooms.
Just
Pulls her.
thank
feet
God
up
she
on
did her
there, yeah.
dips, her tricep presses. She's just struggling to hold on to that
Yeah.
fucking mirror for the goddamn life.
Young teenage girls known for their upper body strength.
They are indeed.
The-
Meryl.
The Xanax
she's up
kept her
there.
calm.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Valium.
Xanax. Valium. There we go.
Yeah, she's still on the Valium.
She had.
Yeah, that shit woke her up quick, didn't it? When you're running for your life,
Adrenaline balances
hit a Valium.
things well.
I didn't know that our zombies were so into personal appearance and vanity too.
Well, he was. Did you see his hat?
Just staring at that mirror.
He was a pilot.
I think he was disgusted with himself.
I think he was doing some daily affirmations, maybe.
I think he was wishing he
You're
still
enough.
had his blue eyes instead of the red eyes.
Stuart Smalley, is that who that is?
You're more than your hunger, and you look good today.
You are more than your internal pull to spread infection. You are enough. I think that's the clip. 28 days later. What are we missing?
I think that's it. Really good.
Got it. Cut, trim.
I didn't say that.
Really good.
I've just been known to have said it before.
Now, what was the first word uttered in the movie?
Hello.
Hello.
And what was the last word?
Written.
Hello.
Hello.
Did
Continuity.
you read the trivia?
Continuity.
No, I,
Oh, full circle.
Well, the word "hello" was used.
But was it the first word because you had the PETA guys go in? Did they Hello, it.
I'm talking about when everything started with Jim.
Once
Just
Jim,
talking about Jimmy.
Yeah, Jim started his journey with hello.
It ended
And
with, do you
ended
think they
with
saw us that time?
Hello.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical. I also liked
Continuity.
in the beginning, it showed that he got out of the hospital bed and goes to the door, and they had locked him in the room and slid the key under the door. I didn't remember that at all. I really liked that they're like, fuck it, maybe he'll live. Like,
I
we're
wasn't even paying
leaving.
attention to that.
We're
I
going to
would've
give him
loved
the
to
opportunity to
Yeah.
not die yet.
I would have loved to have seen the scene leading up to that.
Like, oh
There's a
shit.
story there
There's
that
gotta
we
be a-
didn't get
they-
to,
a
to
deleted
see.
scene.
That's another thing. There's not bodies
Rick
laying
Grimes
around
story?
the hospital. There's just no one there.
I think that's because in a viral situation like that, that's the first place everyone gets infected and they all left.
But remember, this is also like World War Z. This is a 20-second reaction time. You're not getting to the hospital if you're bit feeling a fever. You're bit, and then you're biting
But the
whoever's
hospital's
closest to you.
also never empty.
Well, but
Well,
they
it's definitely
yeah.
not empty after they come in and bite everyone and they all leave.
Remember the guy
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the bunker? They knocked him out cold and were able to get a collar on him. That's how they caught
Yeah.
him. So
Right.
it's possible they hauled somebody in and got the hospital infected. But I think that's called out in several movies. Like if there's if something's being spread by infection, the place you don't want to go is the hospital. Don't go to the
Right.
hospital.
We learned that lesson in real life.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
dead.
yeah. Sorry. man.
Sorry.
Never spent the whole time
Story.
during the pandemic.
Hey,
in the
we left
hospital,
you
never got caught.
sleeping. Now we're sleeping with you. Don't
Yeah.
wake up. Last note from your parents. Love, mom and dad.
It's a pretty good note.
But yeah,
Couldn't ask for much better than
as you
that.
said, the rate at which it spreads, eventually somebody right outside the hospital is going to do it. You're going to hear the beeping, the shouting, the whatever else that's going on in the hospital, and it's going to draw them in.
Which that always bugged me a little bit about World War Z. How did it get overseas?
The plane. The plane.
But if a
Plane.
plane's affected, it's going down before it gets. Unless you're Sarah Palin and just jumping across the fucking creek to Russia.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all post 9/11, so the cockpit is locked and secured.
But you're not going to get that far. It's 30 seconds. You're not taking off.
Well, no, if
there's one on the-
if
on the plane.
pilots are locked in the cockpit, then anybody affected in the plane couldn't get to the pilots, and they landed.
Right.
Well, also keep in
Jeez.
mind,
That's what I'm
pilots
saying.
are immune to all but the highest doses of stimulants because they've been using them to stay up on these flights for decades. So if they're infected, I believe it's possible that they were a high functioning zombie, still retaining the ability to fly a plane.
Have you seen Independence Day?
Yes.
Randy Quaid is one of those.
Yeah.
I'm back.
And he's been infected for years.
But I mean, if it's in like the belly storage or anything like that.
What train system? And like I could see a cruise line, if you're taking off, they swarm, they get on, you're off, but you're not going
Got it.
across the Atlantic to America or vice versa
I mean, maybe
with
in
an
28
infected
days.
cruise ship. It's going to crash if you don't have someone in charge.
The Beatles made it over.
I would say.
Would you like to be a Beatle?
I would think if they shut the engines down, or they left the engines run, 1 or 2 knots or whatever. I mean, yeah, you're going to crash into the port or the beach or.
But wouldn't it just pull you back around
No,
if
satellite
you're?
guided.
Yeah.
We're getting way off here.
I
This
checked
is a
out
whole
this.
nother
But I mean, like,
podcast.
I checked
If
out
you've
this
got-
conversation a long time ago.
Like if you've got some forward momentum in there, it may take you 6 weeks to get across the Atlantic or wherever you're going, but
There's ways, I guess.
it'll get there. It's like it's not going to be an overnight spread type of deal.
That's my favorite kind.
The best kind.
Cameron, you mentioned something while we were watching this. When
Really good.
when Jim got out of the hospital, he's walking down the streets of London screaming, what was it?
Hello.
How long would it take you if you were in that situation to stop yelling hello and be like, oh, maybe I should be a little quieter.
This is not great.
I don't think I'm yelling hello even in the hospital. Like I'm getting out, noticing that life has left, and thinking, "Oh no."
I think you're the guy that if you're looking down the highway and you see me, you're gonna be like, "Nah,
Nah, I'm out.
I'm fine on my own, I guess." I turn around, hello. You're like, "Oh shit."
Yes,
So I'd have so much quiet time to myself.
I agree with you. Like this is the life. No one's here.
Gonna take a nap in a penthouse. Did we miss anything?
I mean, saves the girls, starts a life. Hello.
In their lovely little
Goodbye.
slopeside cottage by the sea.
They do some really nice sewing. Did your mother sew?
Tell her to sew this.
I did enjoy the
dirt.
film more on the takes of zombies versus if they would have shot it much better.
You're gonna like the new one.
I don't think I will. That's okay.
See, we're gonna tomorrow. This is what always happens.
I'm not
Tomorrow, Cameron's gonna
going.
text me and be like, "So when are you guys gonna go see 28 Years Later?"
No.
Like, I don't want to go or anything, but I just want to know like when you're going. And if you get a ticket, like get an extra one.
If there's an
not for
extra
me,
ticket,
not for me, but it also I'm available this day and this time.
I'll have a drink with you guys at the movie theater and
The-
maybe go inside.
There were fun parts, and then there were like dumb parts,
That's what she said.
which I mean, I guess is like a lot of movies. But then you throw that crazy shooting style on it, and it's tough to watch for
I
me.
don't think the new movie has that crazy because I've seen the previews.
I can't hear anything you're
I don't-
saying, Alan.
I
Have
don't
to
think the
watch
new
it.
movie has that creative cinematography.
No, it's
think it's
filmed
right.
classic movie style, like a real film. Have you not seen the trailers for the new one?
No.
Trailers for Cam. Yeah, we're gonna watch it. Do we have anything? Oh, Music Works.
It's Arkansas Music Works, located on J Street in Bentonville, your local shop for all these music instruments and more. It's chock full of musical instruments for the discerning musician and has a selection of audio, orchestra, and band instruments for those dipping their toe into the musical world. Need your instrument updated or repaired? They do that too. For all these great services and more, check out your local music shop, Arkansas Music Works, and mention the Talking with Words podcast for 10% off your purchase.
We're gonna be at San Diego Comic-Con,
Oh,
allegedly.
yeah, we'll be there.
I will be wearing this shirt one day, preferably when we go hang out with Jonathan Mayberry. Not a Hawaiian shirt, but it's close.
Oh, I've got my Hawaiian shirt ready.
Yeah, I know. You should
I might buy another one just in case. Need a backup.
get a few.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't checked it out, we did interviews with Hugo Andre and Lucy Seuss, who we met at the Dallas International Film Festival. Writers, directors, great people to talk to. They are on the interview series posted last week and the week before, I believe.
Yes.
Fun folk.
Last one, yeah. One was earlier this week, like Monday maybe.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Lucy was this week.
Yeah.
Last week. Again, time.
Doesn't matter. No reason.
No reason. James, any final thoughts?
No.
I figured.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it, Taylor.
Alan, would you watch it again?
This movie?
Yeah.
No.
Would you watch any movie a second time?
After watching this movie, I actually probably would not mind watching 28 Years Later.
There you
But
go.
before this movie, I would not have watched it. It
Okay.
didn't make any sense to me.
Well, yeah,
Time.
that
So
makes
weird.
sense.
See, there you go.
No.
Sold a ticket. You're welcome.
Not necessarily that, but the reasoning is sound.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Like interested enough to watch something new, but wouldn't necessarily go back and rewatch.
Machete to the face.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that was fun.
I saw you get chopped up.
I was bricked up hard back here.
Bo was out there eating peanut butter. All right. If you haven't seen it, I Can't imagine you have it. 28 days later, still delightful. We're gonna go do 28 years later soon. Again, time. It's probably out already. Go watch it. We're gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
Charlie, I guess. I keep feeling like I'm missing something else, but I'm not.
Go to the theater and just start yelling, "Hello!"
Hello, hello. Go in scrubs.
Good idea.
That really freaks people out. I'm gonna call Jenny and be like, "Hey, I need some some men's adult scrubs," since she wears like
She only has kid scrubs.
kids.
And we all need blood red contacts.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Shave
You know I
half
have
your
all the
head too.
scrubs
Put a
at the
scar in
hospital.
there.
Just spit in each other's mouths the whole time.
Just lay in one chair, motionless,
Spread eagle, like God intended.
provocatively if necessary.
Wear some Spanx.
You want to creep people out, not turn them on. Different result.
Little column A, little column
Depends
B.
on who you're talking to. My meter fills up the same way.
Laughs and screams.
Tears and blood. And with that, Charlie, end this.
Are we recording?